Kia ora everyone, Kiwi Modeler here, and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing this Airfix's 1/72 scale Avro Lancaster B1 Special. So let's get started. Right, let's begin with the box. So on the front of the box we have this very nice image of the Lancaster dropping the bomb. Then up top we have the Airfix logo and then saying Avro Lancaster B1 Special. Down below we have saying it's a Series 8 kit and it's in 1/72 scale. Across down here it says model kit in multiple different languages. Over here it has a little mention to the Airfix website, and here it says this is a skill level 3. Flipping onto the back, as you can see, there's nothing except for a bunch of tape. Then on the sides you can't really see it that well, as I'll need to position the camera higher on my next video, but basically it says the same. It says Avro Lancaster B1 Special, skill level 3, 1/72 scale, Series 8. Also gives you the item code, which is 08006. Flipping on the other side, it's the same. Up top, we have a little bit of information here, what paints that you'll need and stuff, and the Humble range. And then Airfix logo, your item code again, saying Avro Lancaster B1 Special, your actual paints themselves, and then the lengths, dimensions, and all that sort of stuff. So the length is 293mm and the width is 430mm, and then it also gives you your two schemes here. And then there's a barcode, of course, and a little mention saying it was made in France. Down below you have a little bit of information about the Grand Slam bomb. Here, as you can see, you got 3 flying hours, which is not too shabby. But yeah, that's pretty much the box. So taking a look inside the box, here we have the first 2 sprues, which has the bomb, modified bomb bay, and some new propellers. Next, there are the decals. Then the instructions, which look alright, as you can see. They are in black and white, which is quite annoying. Then we have our first large sprue, our second sprue, our third sprue, and finally our 4th sprue. There's also a small sprue with clear parts on them. And then this thing here, which I'm not quite sure what it is. There's also a couple of parts being left over in the box. Alright, so starting off, we'll take a look at the decals. So there they are. Now, this is quite an old kit, as I said, so decals do feel quite thin. You do get 2 markings in the kit. The markings here are up top here. And then you have your main markings, like your walkways, your large insignias, the control panel, and some of the bomb. As I said, the decals are quite thin because this is quite an old kit, so there is the risk of whenever putting decals on, of them disintegrating, but we'll have to find that out whenever I get around to building the kit. Right, next there's this thing. Now I'm not quite sure what this is. I believe it is like, say for instance you had a part that was broken or missing or something, you'd send this off to Airfix and they can do what they do. It's also in multiple languages, so yeah, maybe. Right, now taking a look at the instructions. So up top we have some same thing as on the box, and then some information about the Lancaster and the Grand Slam in multiple different languages. Flipping on over, we have some pre-assembly guides over here, and then also down bottom some assembly icons. Here we start off with the assembly of the cockpit, the rear gunner's segment, and then putting the bomb bay in, the modified bomb bay, and the cockpit and the rear gunner's position. Then flipping on over, we're putting in the jockey wheel here and a couple other pieces. Then over here putting in the canopy and the bomb sight area. Then starting work on the propellers, moving on to the horizontal and vertical stabilizer. Then continuing on with the engine nacelles. There's 2 different types of nacelles. You also have to make sure to cut this if you're having the landing gear down. If not, don't cut it. Then we attach the wings and the engines onto the fuselage, and then begin work on the Grand Slam bomb. So the bomb consists of 6 pieces, not including the 2 pieces that attach it to the bomb bay. I'm probably not going to add those pieces as I want to display the bomb separately. But anyway, now we have our first scheme, which is number 617 Squadron, sound familiar, at RAF wood hull in March 1945, and this consists of a brown and green camouflage and a light grey underside, which is quite interesting, actually. And then we have the bomb here, which has a black nose and a light grey rest of the body. And then we have our sidelong position here, and then as you can see, one tail vertical stabilizer is painted black. Flipping on over, we have our next scheme, which is a Lancaster of number 15 Squadron, RAF Minhill in May 1946. This consists of the same camouflage scheme all over. I'll probably do this one as I quite like World War II aircraft being used post-war. But yeah, anyway, that's the instructions. Move on to the parts. So let's take a look at the first two sprues. These are the sprues added to the original Lancaster kit in this particular release, and they contain the new propellers and the bomb itself, of course, and a couple other pieces. Just put that blade away, and then take them out of the bag. And then just put the bag away. So here are the two sprues. As you can see, not a lot on them. So you have your propellers. Here, these are slightly larger propellers than the ones provided in the kit. I'm assuming just to give some more push or pull, again, since it's carrying a heavier load. Then you have your two halves of the bomb modified bomb bay, and then your blanking patch for the nose gun, and then these little pieces that would attach the bomb to the fuselage. Yeah, there's our first two sprues. Alright, now it's time to look at the plastic parts for the bomber itself. So in this one, we have the two wings here, and then a few other little components, and you have your other bomb bay, and parts of the landing gear and everything. Now, these do have rivets on them. You can't quite see it there, but they do have rivets. I'll turn the light so you can see it better. But it will be quite fun picking out the rivets whenever it comes to giving this thing a dark wash. There's also some slight detail on the walkway for inside the fuselage of the aircraft. Moving on to the next sprue here, we have the two undersides of the wings. There's also the horizontal stabilizer segments, and our thinner propellers, and the jockey wheel as well. So again, has rivets, so quite nice detail, and we'll be able to pick those out whenever it comes around to building them, especially since the underside of the aircraft is painted light grey rather than black. Right, now our first half of the fuselage, some parts of the engine nacelles. Then we have our horizontal and vertical stabilizers. We also have a whole bunch of bombs here for the original Lancaster this was intended for. And then have some control panels and a few other little odds and sods. It's not super detailed, as again for an old kit. I'm pretty sure the tooling of the Lancaster itself was like 1996, though I'll need to check on that. Anyway, then our next sprue, which has the other part of the fuselage on it, the wheels, the rest of the engine nacelles, some more components of the landing gear. You also got two pilots there, some parts of the cockpit, and yeah. So also you can actually see in here, you got some alright detail for like the framework that's inside the wings. So that's inside the engine nacelles for the landing gear. Yeah, and then you have your ailerons there, and then a couple other small details. Not a lot in the kit, but move on to the clear parts. So here are the clear parts. There's also a chair that came off the sprue. Anyway, here are the clear parts. So you have two small sprues. I'm assuming the small one came off the large one. They look alright, as you can see. You do actually get quite a few clear parts in this kit. You have your main canopy here, gun turrets, rear gun turret, the nose area, this thing, which I'm pretty sure may be radar, though don't quote me on that. They seem all pretty clear. They don't feel too thick. They do have a slight texture to them, it seems, probably from the manufacturing. And then there's also this small sprue here, which has one of the windows on it. So yeah, and then there's the other window that has come off, you can see that. And then there's also the nose gunner's position. But yeah, that is the entire kit, really. So there's the kit. It looks alright. Obviously it's not going to be up to the quality of nowadays. The actual tooling itself came back from 1980, so a wee way ago. But the bombs and extra propeller and stuff, they date from 2001, whenever the actual kit was released. So if you wanted to get this kit for yourself, you're looking for around 50 to 60 bucks. At least that's how much I got it for, around 55 bucks. And obviously 2001's been discontinued now, but you could probably get it on eBay or other sites similar. And I would recommend getting it if you're more experienced in the scale modeling world, as this is an older kit. It's going to be more complicated. Obviously there's less parts, but still older kit, more filling, more work to do on it. But if you do get the opportunity, I would recommend getting this kit, as this is the only one in 1/72 scale. There's no other Lancaster specials that have the Grand Slam bomb with them. There's a 1/48 scale one that Monogram, I believe, has made, and a 1/32 scale, also made by Monogram, I'm pretty sure. But other than that, it's a pretty rare kit and pretty unique. So yeah, I'll wrap the video up here. I'm the Kiwi Modeler, and I'll see you next time.